So we just got the release of Cruella last weekend, and it was surprisingly good. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon, and this is Film Flare, where we discuss anything and everything that makes film and television great. So be sure to subscribe, and let's talk about a great movie.
From the very beginning, I realized I saw the world differently than everyone else. I guess they were always scared that I'd be a psycho.
Now, Disney has been remaking a lot of their classic stories into modern live-action movies, and honestly, not all of them have managed to live up to their expectations. But this movie not only does so, but far exceeds them. And it's Disney's third attempt at a remake focusing on a classic villain. But this version of this iconic villain really does feel like a completely different character than what we all thought we knew.
What was your name? Cruella.
In it, Emma Stone stars as our title character who, before she was the feared fashion icon, she was just Estella, an orphan girl with the dream of becoming a fashion designer like her mother. And when she finally does get her shot with one of the top designers in the world, she's determined not to make a mess of it. But when she ends up learning about a conspiracy surrounding the death of her mother, the darker side of Estella's personality begins to take over as she seeks her revenge.
I'm starting to remember that you have a bit of an extreme side.
Well, then you remember what fun that is.
While Maleficent may have been a villain trying to be good, Estella is a mostly good person who's just always inching her way towards going mad and towing that line of insanity.
I'm Cruella. Born brilliant. Born bad. And a little bit mad.
And Emma Stone was perfect in her role, playing both the quiet and meek Estella as well as the loud and chaotic Cruella equally convincingly. She was just fun to watch all the way through and really helped make this movie as good as it was. The supporting cast was just as good too. Emma Thompson was brilliant as a psychopathic fashion mogul baroness. Everything about her character just screams The Devil Wears Prada, and she makes it very easy to root for her from the very beginning.
You're short, you're fat, you smell like an anchovy, you're colorblind, but you pretend you aren't. Imbeciles.
I also loved Estella's two best friends, especially Paul Walter Hauser as Horace. He and Jasper are actually kept pretty similar to their original characters, even down to Horace being able to speak with the dogs. And those two were really grounding characters for Cruella as she started to turn to the dark side. The overall story is also surprisingly good. The first act was a bit slow as the story didn't really get going until about 40 minutes in, but after that it moves at a pretty fast pace as we jump from one big sequence to another, with the movie switching from a humble coming up story to a heist film and then to a revenge plot. And while I fully expected the origins of Cruella to be a dark story, I had no idea that it would actually get as dark as it did. The surprise twist just kept coming as our characters descended further down the rabbit hole, and at every turn, the movie is just begging the audience to root for the character we all know to be the villain.
But people do need a villain to believe in, so I'm happy to fit the bill.
Then, on top of the great performances and storytelling, this is just a fun film to watch. It's all just visually appealing, from the production design to the costumes. It all feels very familiar, yet manages to stand out on its own for its uniqueness. Everything about this film has a kind of rebellious style to it, especially surrounding Cruella. At its core, this is a really dark story with cynical characters and a heavy mood, yet the film still somehow finds a way to have a lot of fun with it. It feels like the story was made more for the adults while still being fun enough to be enjoyed by the younger audiences. It was a lot less goofy and a lot more serious than I was ever expecting, although it did have to have its moments of campiness with a ton of Easter eggs to the original 101 Dalmatians.
They really would make fabulous Kate.
And I did notice that I found myself smiling like a kid a number of times throughout the movie. It truly is a film for the whole family that focuses on the origin stories of a character we never thought we needed. But what are your thoughts on Cruella? Let me know in the comments below. It's available now in theaters and streaming on Disney+. But before you go and watch that, please do be sure to give this a like and subscribe for more reviews like this. We've got new content coming out every Tuesdays and Fridays. But until next time, have a great day and don't forget to watch a great movie. Bye.
Don't worry, there's lots more bad things coming.
Perhaps